Yes, I see you. So we rocking out positive communications here on the gram with Chocolate Crown. Talking about positive communication before it becomes detrimental. We have Rico Fletcher with us. What's up? I guess we gotta get ready. We on the calendar. That's what I'm talking about. Thank
What's
you all for
happening?
following us on Facebook. Good evening. Good evening. You wanna introduce us and set us up?
My
Set us
guy. Yeah,
up.
my guy. He put us on the calendar, like you said. Let me turn myself down just a little bit.
That's what's up. Glad that you were able to join us on this
Definitely
Sunday
appreciate you,
evening.
bro. Definitely. We're gonna have a dope little conversation. I know the NFL has kicked off today, so there might be some brothers who are sitting in front of the TV right now. They gonna put Fletcher and Chocolate Crowns and Mary May on the back burner till a little later.
It's
But
all
that's all
good. That's
right.
what the replay is for.
Yeah, as long as you get it up in you, you know what I'm saying? Like a nice meal that you worked hard all day and it was cooked at 5, but you ain't get home till 8. Toaster oven.
Well, our conversations are always going to keep it real and be what they need to keep that cup half full at all times. So, we thank those who are here on the live and we thank people who are here on the replay.
Yeah, definitely. So this is episode number
11.
11. So this has been going on for a little bit over 2 months now, and very appreciative for the space. Very appreciative of everybody that listens. I mean, because it could just be us up here talking with no views, no comments, no listeners, no nothing. So shout out to the kings and queens. I definitely appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And while we at it, probably say it again later in the show, those who follow and dig our conversations, please check us out this Wednesday on WPEB 88.1 FM if you're local in the Philadelphia area from 5 to 6. We will be joining a roundtable conversation that happens on that station with Ms. Denise Price and her crew talking about what it is that we do here at Chocolate Crown.
Yeah, WPEB 88.1. I'm going to just reiterate that again. And on Facebook, Denise Price on Wednesday. So if you get a chance, what's it, 5 o'clock?
It is at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, so if you get a chance, just tune in, man, and call in, comment, because the comments is what makes this, much better, makes it dope, because we can transfer information back and forth.
And we know what it is that's landing and what it is you are, seeking more of too.
Yeah, because I'm not perfect. I'm just the one with the headphones on. So and the microphone in my face. So
right.
The comments and everything, definitely appreciate that and appreciate the follow. And I can't say that enough. So Chocolate Crowns first, right? What's up, brother? Appreciate you joining in, and that's all the way from California.
That's what's up.
Yeah, we reaching out, man. I appreciate you, brother. Peace, checking in. But we're gonna talk about healthy communication, and we're gonna talk about unhealthy communication. But we're gonna try to talk about ways to communicate healthier, so that they don't become ultimately the worst, violent. We're gonna try to talk about some things and some ways to control our tempers, control our words, control our emotions when we are in debate, arguments, conversations, whatever it is, with your partner, your kids, your boss, uh, whoever it's with. We just going to try to break down some things and talk about ways to communicate better because right now, the way that people seem to be communicating with us is it's in different terms. It's not so much in uh, verbiage. A lot of it, yeah, a lot of it is. I'm gonna turn it down even more. Is that better?
Much better.
A lot of it is with the physical violence now. We seeing how they communicating with us. Um, so we're gonna try to break down some of the ways that we can definitely do this a lot better, especially on our end. So I don't know if you want to start us off.
You usually start us off with a show or something that you saw. I'm gonna go probably from the perspective that the how we learn to communicate with people as an adult. We learn to communicate with them from our childhood and who it was that was setting the stage. So if you follow our page, you'll see that I had posted um the children, kings and queens, helping each other with their crown, because really all of the lessons and all of the challenges that you have in relationships as an adult stem from how you were informed as a child. And that could be positive, negative, unhealthy, domestic violence, non-violent, like whatever it is, it was nurtured and created from your creation.
Yeah, that's listen. It don't get no more clear than that.
Yeah.
Um, everything starts in the beginning, and if not given the right info, if not given the right way to disseminate information, if not given the right way to receive information, um, it can be very toxic. It can be very unhealthy. You kind of, you don't learn, you don't know how to communicate. You don't know how to express yourself without turning it into something that it doesn't need it to turn into. And um, so the picture of the two young people was very dope. It was very dope. Like, we young kings and queens. So whatever we putting into this vessel, is what we're gonna get out of it. So if we taking in toxic things, we're gonna give off toxic things. So you were definitely on point with that.
And it's also, if we bring it to non with children situations, but to what we have exposed to us today, by the various forms of the way we can communicate to someone, be it video chat, be it text message, be it FaceTime, be it through email, social media. You believe that somebody wrote a post that's related to you, through your body language, things that you say and don't say. Like, are you open to the conversation? Is the conversation boring and you're yawning all the time? You communicate all these things, and you never know how your partner or who you're talking to, including children, how they're receiving it. And if they were engaged and all of a sudden their body language is shifting, or that they sitting back or they're frowning, then those are keys that either you didn't start the conversation off the right way. You may have used some words that they don't quite understand or can connect to an interaction that you guys had together. And then you end up having more of a conflict and more challenges that not only impact that interaction right then and there, but it also travels through the house and to other people around you. And if you think that is going to be an intimate moment later on in the evening, if that is unresolved, it just all this stuff can layer upon from a simple disagreement, or it may not be so simple, but if you're not on the same balance, it can impact and influence and touch everybody that you come across, be it social media, text message, video call, whatever.
Yeah, that's why it's so important that, especially people in power, the way they communicate, you got to have some sort of empathy. You got to step outside of yourself when communicating, especially when you have a platform,
Mm-hmm.
because um, your platform is powerful, and it's and it affects people. You know what I'm saying? So we see how that goes. We see how uh, a president can have a Twitter page and throw whatever he wants out there, whether I agree with it or not. You know what I'm saying? It's your communication is affecting people, and we know they're looking for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Some people just communicate and they don't do it effectively because they don't know how.
Mm-hmm.
See, when people in power, a lot of these people know how to communicate effectively and negatively and use
Mm-hmm.
it for agenda purposes. What's up,
Mm-hmm.
Luke? Appreciate you checking in, my brother. But they use it for agenda purposes, and that's where we get caught up as people who may be loving, caring, care about everybody. But then you have people in power who have political agendas that will say anything. That
Mm-hmm.
they have access to type, and we know what Twitter fingers are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Back in the day when I was coming up as a young person, they in rap they used to call them studio gangsters.
Mm-hmm.
So you would say all this stuff, but you don't do none of the stuff you say.
Right.
Um, and a lot of the times, that's what we see. A lot of times with this communication, people communicating and saying craziness, and they're gonna do none of the stuff that they saying they're gonna do. And leading into that, that's why I want to tell people, listen, you got about 50, 51 days until y'all gonna go out and line up and vote.
Mm-hmm.
And these two candidates are gonna communicate with you. They're gonna talk to you. And and I'll say this. I'm a big proponent of saying if I receive the information and it's good information and it can help me move forward, it's not about the vessel that it came through, it's that I got the information. But with these two vessels, we got to check these two vessels. Let me say everything they saying, are they just saying it to get your vote? Are they communicating with you as black people and go get a black vice president to get your vote? You know what I'm saying? How are they communicating with you and how are we receiving it? What's up, people? Appreciate y'all checking in. Um, so how are they communicating with you? How are they what are they saying to you? You know what I'm saying? Have they said demeaning things in the past and now because it's time to get that vote, they gonna try to clean it up and fix it? Or they're gonna be like the man in the office. He didn't like you when he got there. He didn't like you yesterday. He don't like you today. He's not gonna like you tomorrow. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Listen, listen. Nah, Luch, I never go with the lesser of two evils, man. You can't tell me evil is lesser than evil. No.
And if we measure up, even though we don't have the correct measuring cup, the lesser of two evils is to what? Because we could easily get stuck on their past. We should be informed about their past, but we can get stuck on that, and then it frees us that we say, okay, well, voting is not really important, and which one is the better candidate? Because how do you judge between which evil is worse?
Yeah, it's evil.
But everybody
Listen,
defines evil
but
different.
listen,
Just like everybody defines positive communication different. Like, travel lightly. Ha! That's a loaded comment.
so what we do, Luch, I'm asking you, this is what we here for. What
I
do
think
we
the
do?
real question is, do you want more of the same, if not worse, that you've experienced in the last 3 to 4 years? Or do you want the possibility of improvement or change or, another option? I think that that's how you could determine.
So for instance, I'll say this. If we as people, were really defending ourselves, if we
Mhm.
really stood up for ourselves and said we no longer taking getting busted in the head, getting killed, getting shot at, blah blah
Which is
blah.
pretty much where we are.
Nah, but we not fed up with it. We ain't doing nothing about it. We just
No,
watching it.
the
No.
millennials trying.
There's a difference between actually being fed up with it and what we doing. Because the way they got this place was by cracking somebody in the head. The way they kept this place is by cracking somebody in the head. Where we at right now, we just seen a video yesterday, today, probably tomorrow, of them cracking us in the head. We ain't tired of it. We ain't doing nothing about it.
Right.
He's going to vote. And like my brother said, so what do we do? It's the lesser of two evils. These two people are evil, period. So
Mhm.
obviously, it's the system. So are we ready to do something about the system? Are we ready to still play a part in it and vote for another person who just openly doesn't hate us or openly doesn't tell you to your face that they don't like you?
So,
Where the
are
other,
you the person who blatantly doesn't like you? Are they towards the end of the alphabet, or are they towards the beginning of the alphabet?
oh, he's at the end of the alphabet. But I don't mind that he don't like me because he's letting me know. He's letting me know.
Yeah, but
And second,
melanated people have had resources and opportunities to certain things that they just thought was always going to be stable ways of being there. And so then therefore they function in their life and they communicated with others in the way in which they got comfortable. And you never grow in comfort. And then when that comfort became interrupted by the shenanigans of the later half of the alphabet, it's like, okay, you're lost and don't really know how to do anything, and you become filled with frustrations and irritations and everything is upset, but you don't know, you haven't activated a way to do something better.
well, see, this system has always told us, and I got the big R hat on. You go to school, you do certain things, you can experience the American dream. But then we go through all that and then realize that the system still looks at you the same way that it did before you went through all of this.
Mm-hmm.
My brother Luch, very intelligent, master's degrees and everything else. And he looked just like the brother that they just bust in the head the other day and that they shot in the back. They don't care that I went to Rutgers. They don't care that some sister went to some HBCU. Like, this is the system. This, like, those people are in the system and they do it to us because they know there's no repercussions from the system. They've always communicated that with us. They've
Right.
always told us that. They've always let us know that.
But
And
we've
we're,
also always sought permission and allowances and can you help me out type scenarios that give them that power and influence over us to just communicate how they feel in which we're important and which ways we're not important.
yeah, we're delusional. Once we said we wanted to be a part of a system, then we gotta accept it. Okay, for instance, when this whole thing was created, when this when this whole thing was created, rich landowners and wealthy people were on the Senate. They didn't get voted into office. They were
Right.
the money behind everything and controlled everything, right? So they exploited poor people before we were even allowed in the system.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They always exploited poor people before we were allowed in the system. They was cracking us in the head, making you do slave work, raping you, and doing all kind of other stuff. And then we fought to be a part of a system.
Mm-hmm.
So then we wonder why they did it to their own people. What they doing to us as far as a voting and as far as the government and as far as all of that system, they did it to their own people before we even wanted to be involved in their system. So
Mm.
we got it double. We black folks, they never wrote us in, and then when we get in, we think that they love us that much that 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 what you going to go push some ballot is going to do something. No, man, people, this thing is real tricky, man.
Right.
It's real tricky. They double talk you. They do crazy, and we so stuck on, granted, football. We so stuck on football, and I watched a little bit today, but they got us in the mind of children, in the mind of kids. And they off and on to something bigger and better, and we still fighting for stuff that we've been fighting for, that your great grandparents was fighting for. You know what I'm saying? Like, the way they communicate with us over these next 50 days, people, y'all better pay attention. That's all I'm saying. And what
And
we
make sure
do,
you listen and read and review and listen a little bit extra because they're going to probably package some things that you really need to know into some kind of coded conversation.
yeah, man, and Listen, they never loved us, man. So
Right. And
they
that's a
make
lot of
us.
stuff that we think is written with us in mind, and it never was. But
No, they told you to put on masks and they told you to stay in the house and you did it. You know what I'm saying? That's how they communicated with us. The most melanin in the world is the sun, and you need it as melanin beings, and y'all stayed in the house every day. Every day. That's how they communicate with us. Like that, all of this weaves itself back into it. You know what I'm saying? Are we communicating the same way they communicate with us? All the lies and everything else. Are we going to telling lies in our own life because that's what we've been told?
mm-hmm.
Are we just repeating the same cycle?
Not only that we may be repeating the same cycle, but we are probably in repeating it. We're teaching others that that's the way that we're supposed to always respond or always act, and just, recently dealing with teenagers, like they truly learn from hip hop Atlanta wives, how they interact with their partners, pointing them in the finger, pointing them in the face, you gonna come and get this, or can't, like just the energy that is not building someone up. And then so they see it in the media because the media is talking to them. Then they may see it in their living room or in their community with other families that do the same thing. So when they feel like they're old enough and in these adult-like situations, they replicate what they know. And so it's like, where is it and who is responsible, to your question, to break that type of cycle?
Okay, so for instance, you got a president, Joe Biden, and all my people not gonna like it because I'm talking something different than removing Trump out the office. Okay,
Right.
here less, but he wrote into laws, crime bills, and all kind of stuff that took away your uncles, your fathers, and everything else for long periods of time. So now you have young girls who raised with no father repeating the ratchetness that they give us.
Mm-hmm.
Because if there was fathers and uncles there, they're not standing for that. They're not standing for every little girl on every little corner shaking a little thing. No, men not, and we not, and men aren't perfect. And I know there's men out there who like young girls and do off. No, but when you have stand up men in your community,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of that behavior doesn't exist. It gets checked. You know what I'm saying? Because now in social media, when you check somebody, you a hater or whatever the new word is now,
Mm-hmm.
tell somebody, like, what are you doing? Oh, you hating, and just like you said, it go with all
Yeah.
the
Mm-hmm.
extraness like that. We don't need like that for the attention seeking. For the attention seeking. And then what happens is you do all that to the wrong one, to the wrong one who wasn't taught by a man. He may have been raised by a woman and he's in his emotions. So the way you communicating is, okay, you want to do something.
Right. Especially if you go across um the zip codes across the country, like different definitions for how you communicate, what's considered respectable, what's not considered respectable. And like you said, I mean, you did the noise sound. I thought it was my pause to be able to come in, but you was demonstrating what happens next. And
Nah,
the abuse, people think that the abuse doesn't happen until you actually get hit, but it starts when you've allowed a different language or a different level of intensity when you guys are speaking about important situations. So the lesser of the two evils, it's gonna spark a whole bunch of
listen, when
whole, I
you're,
mean, even people do the lesser of two evils, like, I'm sorry,
no,
from
go ahead.
dating. And they be like, okay, well, this guy offers this and this other guy offers that, but the lesser of two evils, or I get more benefit with this situation than the other situation. It's like, no, who are you? What are you bringing to the table? And it's like, if you bring in negative communication styles, then the relationship is going to have a negative outcome. That could be your slap it up thing you just did. Yeah, I can't do all that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a funny thing, but
It's not.
sometimes in this setting, I'm gonna try to bring a laugh or two. But the crazy thing is if like if you're limited in anything, when it's time to go into the bag to pull whatever it is you need out, you don't have it. What's up, B? What's up, brother? Appreciate you checking in. Um, so when you go in the bag and try to pull it out and you don't have it, your communication skills are shown. You don't even have the words to express what's going on in there. So ultimately, it becomes some sort of demeaning, physical,
Mhm.
something where it diverts what really is going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to be a Rhodes Scholar. You don't have to be a Rhodes Scholar, but you have to have enough in your bag to communicate effectively
Mhm.
without it being physical and getting to the stuff where we don't want it to get to. You know what I'm saying? The name, the blame game, the pointing the
Not taking
fingers,
responsibility.
yeah, the demeaning talk, the trying to demasculate men. You know what I'm saying? Because that, I mean, we've heard women call men bees forever, and they trying to hit hard with that one. Back in the day, that used to mean, I don't know, times is weird now. So dudes might be embracing being called a B now. Like, you called me a B, you know what I'm saying? But back in the day, back in the day, uh, yeah, back in the day, when somebody did that and people couldn't understand why it would lead to a fight, because manhood is priceless, and
Hmm.
something as small as that, if we would have stayed along those lines, we would be in a way better space right now. Way better space.
And why do you think that?
Because men would have been uncompromising. You know what I'm saying? We would have been men that, thought about leading our families. When they took us away, the next generation of young people have to raise themselves being 10, 11, 12 years old with nobody that's 18, 19, 20, 21, all the way to 30. All those men are gone. So
Hmm.
now young boys who are now 15 and with a pocket full of money, they really think that means something
Hmm.
and have no morals, no integrity, no standing behind it, because the communication that they were going to get from the old heads, there's a gap. You know what I'm saying? That gap needs to be bridged. There's nobody there. Like, some of the best people that I've talked to was dudes in the hood.
Hmm.
Some of the best therapy I ever had was dudes in the hood, and not all of them was bad, not all of them was good. Some just trying to find themselves. But that bridging of that gap, that communication was there. That talking to somebody that's done it before you.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's missing. That's been gone. So young boys start to raise themselves. Young girls start to raise themselves. And then you start to see a trickle down effect to, and it wasn't perfect in the 80s, 70s, 80s. No, it wasn't. But there was more of people uh fighting for our community. You know what I'm saying? There was a conscious effort. That's why they made it a conscious effort to attack it,
Hmm.
because we were consciously coming together and trying to move us to 10 steps ahead and 10 steps forward. But
Hmm.
now it seems like we are 50 steps backwards.
Right.
50. And it's our fault, because we could look at the young people and say, look at the young people, look at the way they carry themselves, look at how they talk to each other, look at how they carry themselves, look at they don't know themselves, look at all that, man. And uh, we've been experimenting on projects. Projects or experiments. They've been doing that for a long time. I lived in the
And then
projects.
they try to make it seem like a general thing to do, because in school, what do they put in the curriculum? We got to do some projects, how you problem solve and put things together. And they're only preparing your mind and your ability as well as capacity to do the project successfully by knowing all the different parts of the puzzle. But we don't equate or take a step back to look at communication in a way that it could be positive or how it could be outside of verbal. And that's the thing, how we end up missing like just cues in general, because our bosses could be telling us, different things, or our partners can be trying to let us know, okay, you really made me uncomfortable, but we could be missing the cues because we didn't pay attention to those simple steps from a task that a part of the system was informing us about. And I'm talking in that case, I'm talking about the school system, like building us up.
Oh yeah, they're not. If you know the definition of school, shul, and you know where it comes from, and meaning hell and all that, like these places aren't meant to educate you,
Mm-hmm.
educate art people. They are, and like Luke said, to revive back real quick, he said Biden supported all of them Clinton crime bill laws that was getting black men locked up for less crime. Yeah, all over the country. He from Flint, Michigan, so he's seen it, and
Mm-hmm.
it's that story's repetitive. So when they communicating with you over these next few months, man, just be Larry, man. Really do your homework, man. Please, because your kid's life is on the line, man. You can be retarded and meddle in the same thing. Like if we was all doing out here doing real work and really getting at it, the
Mm-hmm.
system would have been over. But no, they gave us Facebook, and all we like to do is talk a little shiggity. That's it. That's it.
They
We ain't
change the
really,
word, the rules, but they're always gathering information about us. Always.
yeah. And I mean, that's how they communicated. That's how the guy won the first time. They gathered a bunch of data on us, and they spit it out back over Facebook, and his base fell for it. And a lot of us are sick of this system. So a lot of us don't vote. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us are very fed up with a system that's been knocking us in the head, taking your money, making you work all the time. They taking that. You spending money on all kind of bills. They taking all your money in every way possible. Like you a worker. That's what you are. You're a worker, and you see in this system, you as melanated people are much more than workers. But that's what they communicate to us, that you could go get a good job. You could be this. You could be that. But you're a worker. You a worker, and that's not what you was meant to. You was you was way more than that. But
So what can we do to change and educate ourselves around, like, if we have given examples of both educational, political, some media, some, navigating, like pointing a finger and never taking responsibility. What can we do to change those styles of communication?
hold on, repeat that one more time. I'm sorry.
What can he put? Fly, Eagles, fly. You just came out the whole Darnell Vincent.
I'm not even. I was going to say something about them. It's not even worth it. All right. Give me 5 seconds.
Oh my gosh. Do it have to be right now?
No, I don't have to be right now. Okay.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Big Duff, man. Big Duff. First game of the year, y'all lost to a team that don't even have a name anymore. A name. Y'all suck. Don't talk football no more with anybody, man. Anybody. Y'all won a Super Bowl. Y'all probably will never do that again as long as the NFL is doing whatever it's doing. So, but we can
I
get
just
back
feel
to
like
it.
I walk right back into the place of business that we once worked together at,
Yeah,
and Duff joining in on the
yeah.
conversation, and it goes straight
They
territorial
they
with football.
communicated effectively to their fans that they stink.
Yeah.
They stink. They stink. They're old. The Cowboys are probably losing right now. But anyway, let's keep going on with it. But um, for more serious note, like our lives are on the line, man, and the way they've always done it.
Mhm.
Like you need to ask the people before you. This is why I say, taking people out the homes and removing people from the homes is so important because those people would have told you This is a repetitive cycle we on. Like, and if you keep doing the same thing and asking for something, that's insanity. We are insane. That's what it looks like to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it may seem like I'm saying it because our people died to vote and everything else. And if I was living back then, I would have told my grandmothers and uncles, don't do that, man. We could stay separate away from these folks, man. Because what they're gonna have to end up doing is coming back to us.
Mm-hmm.
Coming back to us. Because as we can see, this thing don't last. This thing is over. This thing as we known it is over. That's why they would want to make America great again. This stuff is over. As you know it. Look around. Look, I mean, we could go outside, look around, look on TV. You got 12 people in the stands watching the game. And they got all of us in the house. For what? For what? Like they are controlling you and we just letting it happen, man. So like you said, what do we do? What can we do? We need to.
So first, I think we need to recognize when we're doing unhealthy, unproductive, negative energy forces that's causing us to communicate just off. Like, I don't think that we as individuals, no matter what your age, you don't do that well. Like, it's like if something happens, you're very dismissive, you make it comical, you think, oh well, because I fell and now I'm in the hospital and now I'm back home and people are calling me, that's positive communication. And it might be to a certain degree, but they weren't communicating with you before something bad happened to you. You put something bad up in social media, you got all the fans in the world. You say some level of congratulations or something that was well meaning, and it's like, they see it, but they're not going to give you that moment of support at that time.
Now, everybody I've seen, this is the third person says, so if we don't vote, what do we do?
Right.
And first of all, I would ask everybody who asked that question, when you actually casted your vote, you was 100% sure your vote was counted. And then what did your vote do? Because if you could tell me I seen my vote get counted, that's something different. Or are you believing or you having faith? See, this is why we get the story of Christianity and all of that. Because you got to have blind faith. You got to have blind faith. That's what you got to have in American system. You got to have blind faith. Even after we see the system busting us in the head. They just had their knee on the neck of a brother for 8 minutes and 46 seconds in this system. They just beat up another brother 2 days ago with his baby running around in this system. They shot a brother in the car with his baby in the car in this system. But yet we want to vote. That's this system. So I'm asking all the smart, intelligent people, Miss Payne, Luch, we need to come together. I need to ask y'all that. So what do we do? Because you are bigger and we could do way more than what this system allows us to do. Way more. You got a friend, Doc, on the Sipping Chat. And Doc is dope. Doc should have her own university if it was our system.
Right.
She would have her own school if it was our system. But this system is holding you back from reaching your full potential because freedom comes with a harness in America. Your freedom ain't really free. You get to maneuver a little bit, but as soon as you get too far, yank you back in, put you on COVID pandemic restrictions. So I think we need to sit down and have a conversation and find out, because all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Somebody who looks just like me. Do you think like me?
Mm-hmm.
Are you thinking like me to say, I want to be removed from this system and start our own thing? Or are you happy with the trinkets you get in this system?
And so you have to make that decision about the trinkets, the cast, system and the rules and permissions that they allow you to kind of jump in and successfully play, or jump in and then they want to strip you of everything. Like, you have to determine what is your best lens of focus, because at this point you have to make a decision. If you want to call them evils or however you want to label it, then you're putting that same type of energy towards the success of the work. And I'm not going to say not to vote. I'm not going to tell you, that has to be your decision. But in this conversation, we're informing and preparing and opening the dialogue around the level and ways that they're going to communicate. That's not going to always be positive, but we gotta not just live in the moment. So we're trying to make sure it's not detrimental, or that it creates an unsafe situation for us. We have to look at all the possible options of what can occur if we don't take action, and whatever that action may be. Because by not taking action and not having that forethought, you end up keeping yourself in a box, and that box can have light or it cannot have light. And so you basically have to make that choice of, okay, if I vote for this person, I may lose additional privileges, but if I vote for this person, I'll gain privileges. If it's not costing you to change who you are authentically, then that's who you need to go with. And that's the decision thought process that you'll need to go with. But you need to think beyond today, the next week, the next 30 days. You need to think about 6 months from now or a year from now. What is it that you need to have access to, and who's going to help you get to that point?
Listen, it's a it's a it's really a war that's being we need to fight on 50 different fronts. She said we'll never get get it or what we need to do because we can't even stop watching football for a purpose. And do I agree? Yes, I do agree. But there's some of us out here, and how I got to be in this seat right in front of everybody who's watching is because football took me on my journey. But along that journey is what people don't understand is it's just not we're just not just football players. You know what I'm saying? There's more to it. And this goes back to excuse me, the people not men not being in the home. Because at a young age, that's what I always thought. I was just a football player. But didn't know there was bigger things for me out there. There was more young people I was going to lead and help to be better than I was.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that at a young age. But if I had somebody, and sorry, Mr. Rayford Beasley, I will shout Mr. Beasley out. There's a couple other men, but he was one of the first men who really gave me confidence. You know what I'm saying? That's what a man can do for a young boy. He's seen he's seen me and he helped instill some confidence. And so to pay it forward, like we always say, and to pay it back and that kind of thing. Uh um so that's why I kind of do what I do because he helped instill something in me that it wasn't there. And there's a lot of young boys out there, just like I was, who need that same shot of energy, who need that same path opened up, who need that same confidence put in them so we can get back to some of the things that we asking for because the next generation, we need those young men to be in the home, in the community. We can't repeat the same cycle. And we can't repeat it and then it flip and then the women are the ones that go opposite because boy that's where it looked like it's going and it's sad to say that you know what I'm saying if you understand what I'm saying like it used to be the men not in the homes. Now we're using a lot of our women.
But sometimes I think we gender assign roles that we shouldn't put gender assignments to. So
And
if the
what you
woman is out of the home, you know, we assign breadwinner or whatever, superwoman, all of these titles, and think that it has a positive connotation, but it really doesn't. And so because you'll talk about the woman being out of the home, but at what cost? Are you upset that now you gotta cook dinner and do the laundry now?
No, we saying the woman's out of the home. It affects the circle. It affects the wholeness
Mm-hmm.
because the nurturing and you know what I'm saying, the first nurturing, the first person somebody loves is the mother.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's men you hate your mother, they gonna hate women for the rest of their life. So she needs to be there. That foundation needs to be there, just like a man. I know because I didn't have a father in the home. I know how important that is in the home.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Life situations dictate a lot of everything. So I don't blame any one person. What I do is blame a system that we in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I put a lot of blame on that. I put blame on the man. I put blame on the woman. Nobody's perfect. Everybody has a fault in this.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. And when we realize that and stop pointing the finger at the other person, then we could really go ahead and do something and be at a point where we say, you know what? The man and the woman, the black man and the black woman is a good space. We don't need to be a part of this system no more. Because really all this system does is take from you. It sucks everything you create.
Mm-hmm.
We all just sat here and thought about how much you put out there and how much this system is taken away from you.
But I
Like,
really want people to take inventory though when they're having a conversation or recognizing when their body, their thought, their headache, if they're sweaty, like all of that stuff changes what's happening in the conversation, not only out loud, but internally. And then what do you do with that internal unrest? Do you become aggressive? Do you become argumentative? Do you become defensive? Like we can talk about globally, and that's 1,000,000% important, but as kings and queens, we want to make sure that crown is on, that when you are interacting with somebody, you are totally in tune and attuned to the role that you play. And sometimes the role that you play is, how are you conveying what you're conveying? Is it threatening? Is it aggressive? Is it read wrong? Like you have to really like do the mirror to reflect on you before you say the reason I'm unable to do whatever, or the reason that this can't happen is because of that. No, what role do you play?
like, so my thing would be, does this person communicate the same every time, no matter what, led to the individual incident or why we communicating? Do they communicate the same way every time? Is it no matter what it is, am I attacking you? You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Am I putting you on the defensive? Or am I trying to understand where you coming from? Because most people don't do that. Most people, they'll communicate, but they don't want to listen. They'll give, but they don't want to hear. Even before, before and after. So before they don't want to listen. So they didn't hear anything where you might have specifically cleared up what the problem is, and then they
Mm-hmm.
attack. And then you
Mm-hmm.
clear it up, try to clear it up. They not, you know, they just not hearing it because all they want to do is get off whatever's on their heart or mind.
Mm-hmm.
Because most times, like we always say, when somebody's hurting, they want you to feel the hurt.
Right.
They
So they
want you to,
become communicating vindictive
yeah,
behavior.
we communicate in the same way. You hurt me, I'm hurting you back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's what happens. That's what we see a lot of times. And um, I just, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I was doing some research, and when you get a little bit antsy and sweaty and heart racing and all that kind of thing, they said just bite right into a lemon,
What?
through the, right through the skin and everything. Because
That's gonna change your energy.
well, when what they say when you're anxious and the anxiety of it, like the sour bitterness will get you to stop focusing and get out your head, and then focus actually on your mouth and with the bitterness and what's going on with that.
Mm-hmm.
Do I know it works? No, but it's giving some tools that might work for somebody, man. That's what it's about. And um
Well, I know one as far as that I would share is probably a little bit therapeutic, but if you take like 3 deep breaths and then like 3 deep breaths, and you hold your hand up and you blow into your hand and the air is hot, you haven't relaxed your body in enough. So you need to do another sequence of 3 breaths until when you blow to your hand and the air is cool on the palm of your hands from your body, then you know that you have calmed down enough to be able to approach and engage in that situation a little bit more safely.
Said always carry a limit. So what you saying, in other words, what if somebody got funky breath, man? It
Listen,
don't
they
never
gotta live with their breath. They should
it
have
don't
taken care of
never get
that.
cool. It don't never get cool. So you just
It does get
you
cool.
off point all the time. Yeah, that's breath. That's funny.
You gotta, I mean, if they live with that breath all day long, so they know the difference from it being extremely hot to when it cools off.
Now listen,
You went to being on the other side of the hand in the conversation, and they taking a step back to do their relaxation tools and techniques, so that they don't have to be aggressive in their communication. They might not have the lemon in their bag with prepared for their salad, and they now needed to calm down. They might not have that.
I don't think anybody's gonna have the lemon, but I mean that's just a tool. I mean I've been studying, reading, and learning. So, and I always say, man, listen, and walking away and coming back is always good. But if that's what you have to do all the time, if this is the way you have to, I don't think you should be with this person.
Right.
I think, yeah, we humans, so we got to work through things, you know what I'm saying, to come to some resolution. But I don't think that whoever it is, the man, woman, whatever, should be walking away all the time to come back. No, we should be as adults, be able to sit down, communicate, come to some kind of agree to disagree. I could still be with you if I agree to disagree with you. I don't hate you. And that's where I think a lot of people in relationships have to understand that if you really love this person, you wouldn't be demeaning and talking crazy and all that, and with the finger and
Yeah,
the
where you
leading.
going? Why you doing this? Like, you
Yeah,
wouldn't have to do that.
then you wouldn't be saying the hurtful, manipulating things. You wouldn't be doing that. You would still, even in the midst of a disagreement, you still have respect for that person. So you still hold them in some kind of light, to where I want them to understand me, not get away from me, still be misunderstood, dislike me more. You don't want that. You know what I'm saying? You want to actually come to some resolution to where your house is your peace. Your relationship is your peace. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot going on in this world. And if that person can't be your peace, your little slice of peace, you can't be with them. It's toxic, man. We have to pay attention to that early on. Like, for instance, if you know somebody comes from a household where their parents were married and you weren't, they seen a lot more stuff as far as what happens in a marriage. I'm not saying whether it was good or bad, but they seen a lot more of it. I come from a single parent home. I didn't see that. You know what I'm saying? So there will be things that I'm not aware of. You know what I'm saying? There will be things that people who in that kind of relation they not aware of. You know what I'm saying? You got to be more self-sufficient. You don't have two parents. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes people don't understand. So what I'm ultimately getting at is you got to know who it is you're dealing with. Know who it is.
But even in knowing who they are, you still need to know who you are individually and independent of that relationship, because you can say, well, all my relationships have the same situation. Who was the common denominator in all of those relationships? And then even if one of the things I see Miss Payne wrote, come to couples therapy. What I find in couples therapy is that, yes, usually there's a lot of things being communicated that people miss and don't even recognize that they're on two different pages, that they didn't even know that these pages existed in the book because they never talked about it in the dating phase and the fiance phase. And then now here they are married trying to work it out. But then also follow the lead of the therapist in saying, okay, I need to meet with you individually for a couple sessions and then bring you guys back together. That's not blaming you. It's not blaming the person that's not staying in the sessions. It's recognizing that, okay, there's something that's in the way that we need to kind of work through with you individually, or find out something about you may be blocked in your history that's present and rising to the occasion in this current relationship. And until you're willing to confront you, as well as the dynamic that you bring to the relationship with your partner or with your whoever it's with, then you're going to continue to have that same experience, and it's going to be unfortunate to you because the outcome of all of them is going to be loneliness, or it's going to be that you sacrifice yourself at a highest level of abuse.
Well, yeah. If anybody out there, number one, you don't want to compromise who you are for anybody at all. You don't want to do that at all. Um, Changing small things is okay when you're trying to be a better person. But changing who you are, your core values to fit in some kind of box for another person, I don't think that's too healthy. You know what I'm saying? Because we are all different.
It's no too healthy or unhealthy to it. Like, you can't be in a box and be in a healthy relationship. Like, that's not in the same sentence.
And listen, secondly, when you have somebody who's in a box, this is a bird, this is an eagle. She's supposed to fly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Grab on. She's supposed to do big things. And along that journey, like, people always stunting other people's growth because of their fears.
Right.
And what they scared of. Your partner might not have that same fear.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you holding them back. And anybody out there, I don't, man, woman, whatever relationship you in, man, if you feel like this person is a dead weight, man, drop them off, man. Leave them right there.
On
Leave
the middle
them.
of 95, just pull on over
Man,
and get out.
listen, man, whatever city you in the Berg, uh, you in Philly, you in Florida, you in Cali with First Right. Shout out to First Right. You leave them. Listen, man. It is 2020. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. You don't need to carry no more dead weight, man. No more dead weight. Like, you gotta let it go because
Go ahead.
ultimately it's affecting you. Yeah.
And again, I just still say, make sure you take that personal inventory and responsibility, because it might be you and it might be the situation that you've allowed to be around you. So it's like, you just really, really have to be honest and okay with not being in that situation if that's the response and plan that needs to happen.
Most people are miserable. This is reality. This is reality. They eat bad food. They they drink terrible. They breathe bad air. They around bad people. Listen how this go, man. We know people like this. They miserable. And they'll
We also
always,
magnetize the stuff like that too.
and they'll try to bring you to their level, man. They will try to bring you down to their level. Listen, why we got you here Wednesday, if you in the area, or if you on Facebook under Denise Price, WPEB 88.1. We will be on the radio this Wednesday, 5 p.m. WPEB 88.1 with Miss Denise Price, WPEB. So please check us out, man. We appreciate everybody commenting. We appreciate you tapping in. You know, like
And I'll
this.
post that in our stories that day just to remind you for Wednesday, connecting with us on the radio station if you're local here in
Yeah.
Philly.
Don't lose yourself, man, because even as the system will put us in a box and it's stopping us from doing great things. Like my cousin, shout out to my cousin. She just checked in, Josie. She is the dopest hairdresser in the world. In the world. She's supposed to have 50 stores, and it's coming. It's coming.
Right?
But she's been like this for a long time. But because of a system, you know what I'm saying, you got to maneuver and do what you got to do. When she should have been had like 50 million stores because she's a queen and she the best at this. Like we, oh, sorry. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes, I hear you. I was
Oh,
saying goodbye to the Instagram people since, it was time to say goodbye.
yeah, listen, man. So, and why I used her for example, I mean, because she
Wait,
just,
who did you use?
my cousin, Josie Lyons,
Oh,
she,
okay. Uh-huh.
and cuz if you up there, put your Instagram, put all your info, cuz we out here in Philly, man, and you do amazing work with women's hair, man. You know what I'm saying? So,
What you trying to say about women's hair?
no, my cousin is dope. She is dope. Like we talking chocolate crowns, she fixes chocolate crowns.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And that builds self-confidence in women.
All
You
right.
know what I'm saying? When y'all get that crown fixed, y'all be stunting, y'all be strutting, y'all walk different, you talk different, you communicate different. I gotta talk to you differently. I can't say nothing
And
regular.
don't try to touch a woman of color's hair after it just
Yeah,
got done.
when y'all got y'all hair done, y'all move different, man. Ain't nothing wrong with it. The crown is fixed, it's laid, it's all that kind of, it's whipped, whatever they use it now. It's everything. So I understand that. You know what I'm saying? And
Well,
this is
shout out to Josie.
yeah, this is what the platform is for, man. So and we listen. The system communicates with us one way. We communicate with our own people in certain ways, but we need to be empathetic. You got to really study the people that you're around, that you're communicating with. Know these people, man, and don't just go shooting off and saying stuff because it's making you feel good. It's you know what I'm saying, on the inside, it's making you feel good, and that's all it's about. Like, nah, that's not what it's about. It's about you putting out positive energy, especially into your own relationship,
Hmm.
especially into your own woman or your own man or your own job. Because whatever you putting out is gonna come back. You know what I'm saying? If you beating on her or you disrespecting your man and demasculating him and calling him out his name and you calling her out, listen, man, that's unhealthy. It's not going to work. And then it's going to go from words to something physical every time. It starts out off something. Oh, he crazy. He talking to you. Yeah, okay. That's where it starts. That's the gateway. That's the gateway. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now you got knot upside your head. Now you gotta call your brothers and you know what I'm saying? So it's a cycle. Like, and we as men, as patriarchs, we gotta study who we're with, really study them and learn them and communicate in effective ways where they can digest what you're saying.
Right.
It's not a, it's not about, it's about solving the problems, not making more issues for yourself.
And it's taking responsibility for what it is that you know that you need help in and investing in yourself at whatever that highest level is, because otherwise, if you've seen your parents and caregivers carry dead weight, you have been dead weight or experienced dead weight in other relationships, until you've identified what those things are, it's going to continue to recreate itself, and it might not recreate itself in the same format. So whereas, okay, say you had a habit of hanging out in casinos and now the casinos are closed, you may now use that same time and hang out in casinos online. So it's not that you be like, "But I'm at home now." You was complaining, "I'm never home." You're still not present because you're still connected to some media format that's still taking you away from nurturing and caring for me in a positive way.
Listen, that's why you gotta like the person you with. You know what I'm saying? People be like, I want to fall in love. No, fall in like first. Like the person first, man. Because if you don't
Fall
like
in
the
like.
person, you don't want to even be around them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's people in my family I love. I will never be in the same room with them. Never. Because I don't like them. It is what it is. They might not like me. That's okay. But you gotta
Mhm.
like the people you with, man. Because being around people and breathing the same air, and I mean, all of
Especially
it.
if you in COVID air.
Yeah, listen, that air gets thick fast and cold, and it get hot fast, even with air conditioning. You look at this person like the AC is on high, but it's hot because you sitting in here.
Mm-hmm.
Like nah, man. We just want to be better, do better, communicate better. You know what I'm saying, men, because ultimately, if it becomes physical, 95% of it's us hitting a woman, and we can't do that, man. You lose all respect for that, man.
Mm-hmm.
You lose all respect. You corny if you beating up on women. You corny. You can play this wherever.
Again,
You
that's
corny.
another personal reflection. Like, what is making you so frustrated that you can't communicate it to your partner in any other way other than trying to control them
I
and
would
harm them?
I would hope that the brothers don't put their hands, but sisters, please,
The sisters
please,
do too. Let's not
don't
even.
put your hands on no brothers. None, 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 because everybody doesn't respond the same.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody not reacting the same.
Mm-hmm.
Some brothers will hit you with a Deontay Wilder. And
Right.
it's wrong. It's wrong, but it'll happen. I mean, and they'll piece it up like it's like you a man. And then we got women who want to fight men like they men. Stop, ladies. Stop. No. Walk away. Both parties. Exit stage left, man. We need our people together, not rumbling. We need to rumble the beast together.
Mm-hmm.
They put a split in our homes. They put a split in between our men and our women. And we need to bring that back because we need each other to rumble the beast.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reality of it. We can't rumble it with one man out of one relationship, one conscious female out of another relationship. No, we need all of us together fighting because it's too important, man. It's too much at stake. The most precious things in the world is at stake, and that's babies. That's the kids that we protect and we bring in this world, and that we trying to raise.
Right.
Even if you don't have none, some young person watching you. You know what I'm saying? So it's on us, man. I see some more fellas is checking in, man. Fellas, man, we gotta be better, and we gotta lead, and we can't be like the cops who don't speak up when they see all the injustices happening. If we know we got a nerd and a corny, I was about to curse, and my mom would have been like, you know better words than that. But if we don't call out our own, then you corny. If you got
Right.
homies beating up on chicks and you still homies with them, you corny. And I lost a good friend cousin because he corny. He beat up on chicks. I ain't never seen you rumble a man, but you beat up on girls.
Right.
You know, a lot of dudes like that. And if we don't start calling them out, you ain't no better. You just like the cop that keep his mouth shut when he see all these officers doing what they doing to black folks.
So, what can you describe one last thing as we wind down? And it's probably not a fair question to even ask if we only had a couple minutes, but how would you describe or how would you let a woman know that they are doing emasculating type behaviors that's detrimental to the relationship?
You gotta check them.
What you mean, check them?
Say something. Speak on it.
Okay, that
No,
sounds better. Checking them
no,
sound like you about to just rumble like right away.
no. Check them. You
But I
say,
think a lot of times
hey,
that
what
when
are you
people say
doing?
that they're being emasculated,
What are you
as a
doing,
female, they
sweetie?
may not know exactly what that
Exactly. That's
behavior
why.
is.
That's why
So
you
that's the
check
thing.
them
What's the
on it.
behavior?
That's why you check them on it. Oh, sweetheart, what you talking about? What are you doing? No, 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 no. Let me tell you about myself. And let me tell you why you shouldn't use those words, especially around me.
So what would be an example?
I don't know. You brought it up. So if, for instance, you calling me a bitch, I'm a man. You doinking me like a little boy, I'm a man. You talking down to me, I'm a man.
But what if the mom did the doinking,
She
and
ain't
then
no.
now your significant other is doing
Yeah,
the
well, she sought you. She was seeking you out because she likes men like that. That's
mm-hmm.
what you're doing. And your mama did it because your mama don't like men.
Mm-hmm.
Your mama don't know how to keep a man. You know what I'm saying? These are facts. This is what we going through. This
Mm-hmm.
is the reality of this system that we've all had to play a part in because they wanted to be integrated instead of being segregated.
Right.
So a lot of their issues that they have in their life, we've taken it on. We've put it on us because we've immersed ourselves into this culture. Like, so, I
I
mean,
guess I'm trying to think of an example that
okay, okay. For instance, there's one way you can wear your pants being fitted and being comfortable for you. There's another one you got pants tighter than the woman you standing with. But part of that is because Versace's, Puff Daddies, and all of these dudes who don't care about the female energy, they are degrading to female anyway.
Mhm.
They now put this into the clothes that men wear. So now you see a whole new generation of young men wearing little boy pants. Little boy pants. Like it's and the clothes have gotten smaller. So now little boy walk around, you see all his underwear and he got on a little shirt. And they purposely doing this. Like
Mhm.
they have demasculated the man. There was a way that a man carried himself. There was a way that we did it. Ain't nobody said it was perfect, but we sure wasn't getting slutted out looking like little sluts on the street walking to the corner store.
So, what is emasculation for women? Is that the cat calling and
When
I
you're
don't know.
out of your natural self. I don't even know if it's demasculation what's happening. They're emasculating women.
Right?
You
Baseball
know
jeans.
what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. They got on tight. They got on Philadelphia Eagle football pants going to school.
Mm-mm-mm.
You know what
That's
I'm
funny.
saying? Yeah, they got on.
Now I can see the baseball uniform and then the little pants with the guy. Like, yes, that is
Yeah.
funny.
It's that, and you got women who want to be who little girls who want to be boys. Something's wrong, and now it's an experiment now. So there's an argument: are they growing up like that, or are they turning in there? Well, it don't matter now because we've all been experimenting on it. They putting chemicals in your food that's doing that to your babies.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they doing. And then you say no, it's not because you thought like that. It's because they was giving you ultrazine since you was 2 years old. They've
Mm,
been giving you manganese since you was 2 years old. You've been getting mercury in your mouth at the dentist since you was 7 years old. And then
right.
we wonder why. We don't know the effects. We just trust. We trust the system. We got faith in the system. Faith in the system who is changing the DNA of your young people. I was in the schools. I had little girls who's supposed to be having underwear on with a pad, tampon, something, got on boxers like a boy and bleed down their leg. Like, this is what really happens. If we're going to have real talk, let's have real talk. This is what
Mm-hmm.
go on with these babies out here. They are confused, man. Confused. Little girl who's on a period, wears boxers like a boy, bleeds down their leg. Mr. Flexi, what am I supposed to do?
So is it that she had nobody to say, okay, you can wear the boxers because they're comfortable, they give you room, but during that time you need to go to a brief or something that is made for a woman to hold and carry all of that you gotta carry.
She didn't care about herself.
Say that again.
She did not care about herself. So initially, when she first sees that she's a girl, at some point she says, I want to be a boy. So there's no care for what you see in the mirror. That's
So how does that play a part in tomboys? Like, because tomboys might want to dress more masculine, but
that's
that's
like a
not
boy different.
saying
Just like a boy different than being wanting to be a boy, then go to the bathroom and stand up and pee. There's a lot of little girls who covered themselves up back in the day and were called tomboys. But
mm-hmm.
they didn't
And
like
they
that little other little dirt bags, and not even the boys your age, a lot of older men looking at younger girls.
Mm-hmm.
Slime balls. So they got to cover up and they want to wear stuff like like every other kid. So they
Mm-hmm.
call tomboys. No, they was covering their ass. But now you got little boys who exposing their ass. So them is
So this
tomboys.
comes from emasculation.
Them is tom girls. I don't know what you call them little boys. It doesn't come from who?
This all came from me asking about emasculation and what does that look like?
Yeah, and men and women. That's where it comes. Listen, listen.
I'm just asking. I just
If
want
you
to be
not,
clear.
oh yeah, if you're not confident in yourself, confident in what you see in the mirror, it's easy to manipulate you because now you've been told I could turn into whatever I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
I could be whatever I want to be. I want to be a fruit. I'm gonna want to be a strawberry today. So you go get little dots on your face. I'm a strawberry. Like white folks putting paint on their face. They want to be black. Everybody's doing whatever they want to do because that's the system we live in. That's not how it's supposed to be. That's not how it would be if we was in control. We would have built up enough confidence in every little girl that you want to be a little girl because you could turn into a queen. And you know what? That's something great. And we
Right.
would have showed you pictures of young women who look just like you and turned you into a queen and told you you're beautiful every day and told you that chocolate skin and you're light skin and you light bright and you mellow yellow and you super chocolate. Every one of y'all beautiful. But nah, that's not what they were told. In a system, you told you too dark, you ugly. Because the white man in his system ain't shiggity. You know what I'm saying? So we need to take it upon ourselves. Tomorrow is tell all sisters they beautiful, no
That's
matter
the
what
homework assignment for just tomorrow.
talent. I'm putting it out there. I'm gonna put it on Chocolate Crown's page. Tell all sisters they beautiful, even ones that you see in their lower self. Sweetheart, I see the queen in you. It could start at that. And then y'all could say, man, Fletch started that, and now all the women are queens. You know what I'm saying? But no, we're gonna start with that tomorrow.
Okay.
We're
What
gonna
the
start,
women should do? What should the women do?
say thank you. Say
But the
thank you.
women have they're not all receiving this compliment.
Find some sisters and tell them they beautiful. Find some men and tell them, King, we appreciate you.
Okay, thank you. That's
You know what
all
I'm
I
saying?
was asking.
Even if you see a king and he ain't even right, the crown is tilted. It's like crooked a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna help you fix it. You gotta start somewhere.
Right?
You
Just
about
remember
to
that
go,
picture that
you
I
about,
posted in the group with the little girl and the boy fixing
you
each
about
other's
all
crown.
these black people got about to go vote for two white men. It's a must. Tomorrow you go tell a brother and a sister something special and important, man. Y'all about to go out once again. Your grandmother did it, your great grandmother did it, your uncles did it, your mother did it in the 80s. They was getting cracked in the head. They went and voted. You about to vote. And you about to vote for the worst human being in the history of human beings. And then you got another person you about to vote for that locked up every black man in your family. That's your choices. Then you got a sister who said she wasn't a sister when it was cool to not be a sister. Now it's cool to be a sister again. She want to be a sister.
And people want to say because she got on those baseball jeans as a woman that she's from around the way. She had that on in Chucks. She from around the way.
We're silly. We are silly. We take anybody.
We
I think I'm
superficial.
going,
We
I think I'm
microwave
going for
generation.
president. I think I'm going to run for president because I know how to trick and scam people. I know how to. I would tell black folks believe anything, man. So maybe I should. I can't do that to my people, man. But we got to stop believing everything they communicating to us, man. Stop it.
And take our personal inventory on how we can do something different.
Yeah, and listen, kings and queens, I'm gonna have some information for you next week. I can't remember the county in Georgia or the town, Tum something Georgia, but they trying to come up with a new Black Wall Street, man. So black people do some homework, man, because maybe somehow, some way, we could all come up with some way to be involved, man. Because It has to start somewhere, and there's brothers out here. Listen, one of the things that happened in Black Wall Street is we didn't have enough protection. When we start to build up our communities, we got to have a force that's protecting us.
Mm-hmm.
Can't build up money institution. There's no way that 300 white men should have been able to tear up Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Right.
We wasn't thinking about this. We should have had some tanks and some military people of our own protecting this. So what we gonna do is we got a little homework assignment along with telling all the women queens that they beautiful and you understand they plight and everything else. We're gonna try to look up that I think it's Tumasaw, Georgia. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, it's two young ladies, two sisters, two queens, and they trying to come up with the new Tulsa, Oklahoma agriculture, rec centers, food, um, education, therapy, all kind of stuff they're trying to come up with. So I'm gonna have more information next Sunday, 8 p.m. Chocolate Crowns. And yeah, once again, we appreciate you.
And
Everything.
Miss Payne, if you're still listening, I guess I did kind of forget, but I'm gonna make sure I text you the titles of those books and post them in the chat from last week's conversation for you.
Oh yeah, every week I'll have some more books. You see that they lined up. We gonna go through them. So, but yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. Kings and queens, it's been real.
Oh, catch us Wednesday. You want to tell them that again? Catch us
Yeah,
Wednesday.
Wednesday, WPEB 88.1 Philadelphia, 5 p.m. Facebook, Denise Price, 88.1 WPEB Wednesday, 5 p.m. Check us out, man. We appreciate the following. So, um, and we got to keep on banging on this beast, man. It's real, man. So I love y'all, kings and queens. Keep your head up. Peace.
All right. Be safe, everybody. Be safe and stay safe.